We're talking to Jose Shorty Torres, the Titan FC flyweight and bantamweight champion now. He joins us via the magic of Skype. Jose, how are you?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on. So you're back at 125 on Friday. You're the champion at 125 and 135. Is it, I know that you've done some interviews. I know that the word out there is that the UFC has come calling multiple times, and every time you do an interview, it seems like you're talking about the UFC. Is it hard to, give 100% of your focus on what needs to be done on Friday without thinking about what could happen if you win this fight on Friday?
It definitely, messed with my mind a little bit. The last fight, I felt defending my belt for the second time at 135 didn't need to be done. It was fighting an unranked opponent, some guy that was just next in line, which is cool, but I was ready for the next level. And I was called 6 times to be called up, to the UFC. Just so happened every single time I got called up, I was injured, recovering from a broken hand and torn MCL. So just couldn't take it. It was just horrible timing. But, took the fight, and I wasn't mentally prepared for it because I was ready for the next level. I felt that I didn't need to fight Gleason de Jesus, which was the opponent I fought. And I didn't perform at my best because of it. But this time, I'm not trying to depend on the UFC. I know they want me. They called me actually a couple weeks ago to fight in UFC Charlotte because a couple fights backed out. And sadly, 2 of the opponents that they gave me, I'm not going to name any names, both didn't want to take the fight. So it's either I'm injured or people don't want to fight me. So for now, I'm just doing fights to keep on making a living and keep on showing that I'm not just a double champ, but I'm a very dominant champ at that.
Who are these people that turn down fights against you? Let's hear their names. Come on.
I definitely.
Why?
I definitely
Why are you protecting them? They stopped you from realizing your dream. Why are you protecting them?
Hey, man, things happen behind the scenes, and sometimes just things don't work out as planned. That's all it is.
Okay, so if they turned you down, why didn't you still get into the UFC? They wanted you. Like, why was it only contingent on that card? Why are you not in the UFC now?
And that's something I'm still trying to figure out myself. Mick has called me 7 times, which, hey, man, I appreciate every single time. But, a few of them from the Contender Series, a few to fight Justice Goggins, Tim Elliott, and then this last one, UFC Charlotte, just, nothing's been able to work out as planned. So I'm not just hoping for a call. I'm hoping for a contract.
Okay. And you said in the past you've been called and you've been injured. How difficult is it to say no? Like, were you close to just saying, F it, I'm going to take this fight even though I'm injured?
Well, at the time, I was still definitely, I still didn't even throw a punch. I still wasn't able to really kick because of the torn MCL. So there was no chance of me ever taking the fight, but I know they called me a few times at the Contender Series, one of them being literally the same day I get cleared to start punching again. And Mick's like, oh, come on, take it. I'm like, man, I want at least a training camp to make sure that I'm definitely healthy. It's my first surgery ever. I want to be able to make sure I'm 100%. And no, man, I'm 25. I definitely have a lot of time to recover and a lot of time to be in the UFC. So there's no rush.
You're referencing Mick Maynard, who's the matchmaker for the flyweight division. Is it true that he has you blocked on social media?
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed. It's okay.
So the guy who's essentially like your pass to get into the big dance has blocked you. This doesn't have you a little bit concerned?
A little bit. At least I know I definitely have his attention, and because of him blocking me, everyone else that he hasn't blocked has been hitting them up for me. So it's like double the trouble for him. But hey, man, it's nothing but respect. I was just tagging him on a bunch of stuff, and hey, man, he probably just got annoyed from it, or me saying no so many times.
Wow, that would freak me out. Like, I would be so nervous about that. Oh my God, I pissed him off. I mean, it's one thing to maybe mute you, but to actually block you, that's a strong move on his part. And Mick's a really easygoing guy.
Yeah, I was like, this is probably not a good sign. But hey, man, as long as I keep on winning and keep on defending my belt, I'm doing what Conor McGregor did at 14-2 in Cage Warriors, but I did it at 5-0, and I defended 1 belt at the time. Now I'm 6-0 with 2 title defenses, with 2 championships, now going for my 3rd title defense. So I'd be in the record of 57-19 or 57-21 at only 6-0. I mean, no one has my resume. No one has my accolades. When people say, oh, they've never fought someone like me, I can legit say that. No one was a 2-time amateur world champ. No one was a 2-division world champ for Titan FC, and 2-time defending champ, hopefully soon to be a 3rd. So I'm just more waiting for the call. I know it's going to happen. Now I'm just waiting for the contract.
Okay, and which weight do you prefer fighting at, 135 or 125?
35 is definitely a lot more fun to make just because I get to enjoy myself a little more. But 25. I'm 5'4". 25 is definitely the division I want to be at. Man, I've trained with so many people around the world that are at the bantamweight division. T.J. Dillashaw, Barao. I mean, so many guys. It's like anytime I train with them, I go, no, yeah, I'm a flyweight.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely a flyweight.
You're now at American Top Team, right? That's where you're training with Barao.
Yeah, so I'm down at American Top Team. I helped Josir Formiga, Barao, Pedro Munhoz, Kyoji Horiguchi, Adriano Moraes. I mean, the list goes on and on. So there's so many guys in my weight class. I mean, I'm holding my own with some of the best, and these guys are, trying to get me ready for a UFC debut as well.
So your nickname is Shorty, and initially I thought, okay, it's because you're a flyweight. You're not the tallest guy, but it has nothing to do with your size, right?
No, actually, one, my whole family's short, so everyone's named Shorty. My father, my mother, my brother even had it. So it kind of runs in the family. So when we say Team Shorty, it's like a legit thing. But for me, I always say I'm the Shorty from the 90s, the Shorty trying to make it up out of the neighborhood and really trying to show that if this Shorty can do it, other Shorties can do it as well.
So what, like the neighborhood that you grew up in wasn't the best?
Yeah, my dad was a big game banger back in the day. He was a goonie, and he used to fight to collect the money, kind of like Rocky in the first movie,
Wow.
where he was just a goon. And for me, I grew up getting beat, but properly, where I was able to learn how to defend myself and learn how to take care of myself in the streets. And my dad showed me how to do that. And actually, I'm actually making a homage to him for this next fight coming out with the warm up outfit that I'm coming out in. But man, it was a tough upbringing, but I'm at where I'm at today because of it.
What's the outfit?
Well, the outfit, it's more the colors.
Okay.
So the colors are purple and black, which was my dad's former gang back in the day, and those are the colors that raised me. Even though it wasn't the best upbringing in the world, again, it gave me every single opportunity to all the struggle that he went through, all the stuff, all the bad stuff that he had to do for me to succeed and give me a better life than what he had. Hey, he succeeded, and again, I'm at where I'm at today because of it.
Is he still around, your dad?
Yes, he's definitely still around. He's definitely one of the the proudest guys ever. I mean,
Okay.
we watch boxing fights, and he's just randomly crying. I'm like, "Why are you crying?" Because I'm so proud of you. You do this too. I'm like, you don't. I'm not even fighting right now. You don't have to cry. You're good.
That's amazing. I love you mentioned Team Shorty, and I think you're repping one of your shirts right now.
Yeah.
But you do a great job. There it is. Yeah, it's a very very nice looking shirt. You do a great job of sort of marketing yourself. But there's there's a lot of good that comes of it, because from what I understand, you actually take a proceed from all the gear that you sell and give it back to like a youth team to help them go and compete as
Yeah.
well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so my gym, Combat Dope, back in Chicago, and Master Bob Sherman, we used to have Shoney Carter and Terry Martyr come out of our gym back in the day. That was a gym that saved my life. I was going into gangs, going into a bunch of heart problems, and that actually got me focused in the school and the reason why I graduated college in the first place. But it got me the chance to travel and train and fight against some of the best and really just compete all over the world. For me, I had to hustle and do a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done just to get the money, just to be able to travel and compete. So for these guys, these kids coming up, or even these young adults trying to make their own living, whether they want to be MMA fighters or just trying to figure out who they really are, 20% of all my earnings at TeamShorty.com actually goes to the kids and just people in my gym trying to travel and compete and see where it takes them in life.
Wow, that is amazing. Well done.
Thank you. I'm not making a living, but I'm making enough just to survive. And if I'm able to help back and give everyone something like an opportunity I was given, then so be it. Then I'm able to do that.
Will you continue with that if and when you make it to the UFC?
Yeah, I'll definitely continue with it, and I'll probably even raise it just because I know I have a better living. Again, I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I'm trying to be able to survive. So as long as I have the money, again, I grew up with nothing. So if I start with nothing, I'm going to end with nothing. So if I'm able to help out throughout that, that's perfect with me.
And so you're fighting at 125 this weekend. You've also fought at 135. Lex McMahon, who's the COO of Titan FC and who, of course, has been around the fight game for quite some time, he told me that the first time he laid eyes on you, you were training with Khabib Nurmagomedov in Bahrain and really going toe to toe with him. Is that true?
Yeah, that's so. Khabib is actually one of the reasons why I got signed to Titan FC. So when we got signed, it was a KHK MMA team. The Prince of Bahrain wanted to sign people like Frankie Edgar, Khabib, Islam Makhachev, and a bunch of the Dagestani guys, and former UFC veteran Alex Soto. So I come in as a 2-time amateur world champ. Lex has no clue who I am. And Alex is getting ready for Tennessee 35 at the time for a bantamweight debut. He goes, hey, Shorty, do you mind sparring with Alex? He needs some help for his fight. If it gets too hard, if he's too much for you, I'll stop the fight. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, cool, whatever. And so I go in there and I do very well. And then he's like, man, who is this guy? Whatever. And then we have a big team practice, and I'm sparring with Islam and some of the Dagestani guys. And Khabib just wants to keep on moving. I was like, all right, let's go. So I just, hey, my lights turned up.
Oh,
we're
wow.
like play fighting. Sorry, automatic timer. So we're like play fighting, and out of nowhere we start going serious, and he just can't take me down on the wall. Given I'm pretty sure he's being nice, but I'm fighting back. He takes me down. I'm getting up. I don't know where I'm spinning him. I'm trying to take him down. I take him down a couple times, and that's where I learned the Dagestani, top crucifix where you don't get out of. But man, it was a hell of an experience. I mean, Khabib taught me a lot, and all the Dagestani fighters, their sambo style is amazing. And because of that, the next day, Lexingham's like, hey, do you have any plans? You want a 4-fight contract for Titans? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So it was perfect.
Wow, that is amazing. And so you win 2 belts. You're headlining their show on Friday. You're on the cusp, and the UFC is going to Chicago. I feel like this is all like, forget Charlotte. This could work out perfectly for you, right? Debut in Chicago if all goes well. What's better than that? Your boy Curtis Blades just did well on Saturday. He wants to be like, this is great.
Yeah, I used to train Curtis Blades for his amateur fights, and it's crazy to see how fast he's improved. And I mean, Mark Hunt's a legend in the sport, so it's really amazing just to see what he was able to do last weekend. But man, UFC Chicago that's my holy grail. That's my Madison Square Garden. There's nothing better for me. I haven't fought Chicago in 5-6 years, because by the time I started picking up my amateur career, I got to almost 10-1. No one wanted to fight me. So I went to Missouri, went to different states, won the national titles, won world championships, and was training and competing in Brazil and Czech Republic and all these other places. So, I haven't fought Chicago in, about 5 years.
Why such a long amateur career? We don't often see that in MMA.
So 2 reasons. When I signed with Combat Dome, I was starting my amateur career. Master Bob Shermer, which is still my coach today, he goes, hey man, I've had Shoney Carter, Terry Martin, and they do fantastic in their amateur debut. They go 5-0 and go, you know what? I'm gonna turn pro and just go at it. Well, they're a big fish in a little pond. That's great, but what happens when they face other big fish in different ponds? Usually, you're gonna find out who's the bigger fish. Well, for me, he goes 20 amateur fights automatic. Well, by the time I got to 20 amateur fights, I won my first world championship. I still had 1 year to go at school. He goes, you know what? That rule's broken. Get your college degree. You're 1 year left. Make sure you get your bachelor's degree, and then you can turn pro. Well, that's what happened. I got my bachelor's degree. At the same time, I was doing the second world championships. I said, might as well. Let's see how this goes. And I ended up creating history and becoming the first 2-time ever world champ. And I mean, because of that, no one had the accolades. In the sense, paper-wise at least, I'm the Vasil Lomachenko of MMA. I mean, I don't have Olympic runs because we don't have that, but no one's ever been a 2-time amateur MMA champion consecutively. I was the first ever to do it, and because of that, I mean, you see my long amateur career, 26 amateur fights, 50 plus in kickboxing, Muay Thai, Pan American, 2-time gold medal champion in kickboxing, and All-American wrestling. I mean, I have nothing but accolades to offer. It's just being able to get the opportunity to show it, and that's what I'm trying to do now.
It's amazing. What a resume you have. If only you could get unblocked by McMahon. Don't worry, I know what it's like to be blocked by a UFC official.
Yeah,
yeah, it's all good. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not as talented as you are, so I think it will work out just fine for you. And I think that it's weird how things work out with the Chicago card coming up. You can have CM Punk, you, Curtis Blades. Why not get the local guys on there? It's perfect.
Oh man, CM Punk, that'd be great.
Don't be a hater.
If it brings popularity to the yeah, no, I'm definitely hating. No, but it's one of those things, man. It's really cool things happen for a reason. When I got hurt, I beat Sharapov. I broke my hand, tore my MCL. I got hurt. I was like, oh man, that's okay. And then I don't know, I get 4 calls. It's the worst thing ever. That's your dream kind of being pushed back more and more and more. But again, things happen for a reason, and I'm just happy to keep on, being able to do the sport as I do.
When you watch the flyweight guys in the UFC right now, do you feel all right? The creme de la creme, right? The Cejudos of the world, the Tim Elliott's. Of course, there's DJ up there. Do you feel like you can hang with those guys right away?
I know I can hang with those guys right away. I've trained with almost 75% of both the flyweight and bantamweight division. I know what I can do given its practice, and yeah, that's a whole different thing. But when professional fighters in the UFC pay me to go help them train for a UFC championship, I'm pretty sure there's some type of reason behind it. I know I can hang with some of the best in the world. Again, it's just the opportunity. Again, I've beaten the record of 57-21 and only 6-0. My second pro fight, the guy had 16 pro fights. Yeah, I was only 1-0 at the time. My first title, I beat Pedro Nobre. He was 18-2-2. Went the distance to Tim Elliott, who went the distance to Demetrius Johnson. I was only 3-0, and I knocked him out in 86 seconds. He's never been TKO'd before. So I'm doing things that are really unheard of. Paper-wise shouldn't even happen, but I'm doing it.
Have a feeling we'll be seeing you in the octagon sooner rather than later. First things first, though, this Friday, Titan FC 48. Jose Torres against Alberto Orellano. There are 3 title fights on the card. It also airs on UFC Fight Pass. So if you want to watch this man in action, you could do that very easily. Most people who watch this program or listen to it, I do believe, are already subscribed to Fight Pass. Great to meet you, Jose. All the best on Friday. And of course, good luck with that next step, trying to get inside the octagon.
I appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. There he is.